Look, I'm exhausted. Had it all figured out and I lost it. They say that's the cost, but it just feels like a lot. Stop, are you going or not? I miss certainty, miss the 9 to 5s, knowing exactly where I need to be and why I'm not built for this. Progress moves in slow motion, they're out making money and getting promotions, saying all the right things, pulling all the right levers, while I sit here, write my future self love letters. Who's winning? Is this the end or beginning? 'Cause I'm starting to feel like reality's slipping, and bank accounts, they aren't very forgiving, and life on edge feels like falling, not living. If effort brings victory, what am I missing? Nothing good comes easy. When we have to, we push through, not knowing completely. You're here because you're made for this next level, taking these places that most people won't. Start embracing it. Who cares what they do? They're not you. You'll go through more now than you think you're supposed to, but that shows you can cope with the highs and the lows, because you rose to be more. Could've run away, could've avoided the thorns, could've been comfortable. Blood, sweat, and tears, they're expendable. No more pretending, man, build something memorable. Don't drink from their cup or by stories they tell, because when all their time's up, you'll have dug your own well. You did it. Use lifelines, you're topped off for a lifetime, so drop all those one-liners. We'll get them next time. No, this time is your time, and whatever you decide will end up being real life. No stop signs, just storylines. This whole thing is a misunderstanding, a miscalculation. Jumped and missed the landing. I'm mystified, I can waste so much time. These ovations are strictly imagination, not standing. So much for planning, guess fate left without me. Those failure statistics, yeah, they'll be about me. Was overly optimistic, forgot the logistics. Guess we all learn sometime, don't we? Good is not good enough, no. How long do I stay down before I let go? I buried my pride and took it inside, but never enough. It takes a toll, it gets old getting told you've got miles of road left to go. You're alone with this future unknown. Just go home. Just go home, it's safe there. Yeah, I'll find some embrace there. Look, it's time to admit defeat. A humble retreat, check the box and complete. To my core, intrinsically, it's not for me. I can't do this. I knew this is how it would be. No fame, no fortune, no names on marquees, just running in place every day on repeat. This is the world I wanna see, where everything's taken with no guarantees. No. Come on, man, pick your head off. Go back inside, half a life's learning to get up. How can I make you see that you have everything you need, and what you want to be is never out of reach? Fate deceives sometimes, but destiny's calling, so can't let the phone ring. You know there's no all-knowing. Go level up, no letdowns. Let the world in, push fear out. It's self-belief, it starts right now. When hell freezes, you lay down. Until then, it's your town, it's your story, it's your crown. Live in the clouds, feet on the ground. They stand still, you run around. Go mesmerize, or they socialize. There's dollar signs to be maximized. If you live it right, regret nothing. Loud applause, the sweetest sound, and this moment won't happen again, and never becomes forever unless you choose to begin. So see greatness in each step, and power and progress. Your future, yeah, that's limitless, it's infinite. Don't forget you want this. Look, I'm exhausted. Had it all figured out and I lost it. They say that's the cost, but it just feels like a lot. Stop, are you going or not? I miss certainty. Miss the 9 to 5s, knowing exactly where I need to be and why I'm not built for this. Progress moves in slow motion. They're out making money and getting promotions, saying all the right things, pulling all the right levers, while I sit here, write my future self love letters. Who's winning? Is this the end or beginning? 'Cause I'm starting to feel like reality's slipping, and bank accounts, they aren't very forgiving, and life on edge feels like falling, not living. If effort brings victory, what am I missing? Nothing good comes easy. When we have to, we push through, not knowing completely. You're here because you're made for this next level, taking these places that most people won't. Start embracing it. Who cares what they do? They're not you. You'll go through more now than you think you're supposed to, but that shows you can cope with the highs and the lows, because you rose to be more. Could've run away, could've avoided the thorns, could've been comfortable. Blood, sweat, and tears, they're expendable. No more pretending, man, build something memorable. Don't drink from their cup or by stories they tell, because when all their time's up, you'll have dug your own well. You did it. Use lifelines, you're topped off for a lifetime, so drop all those one-liners. We'll get them next time. No, this time is your time, and whatever you decide will end up being real life. No stop signs, just storylines. This whole thing is a misunderstanding, a miscalculation. Jumped and missed the landing. I'm mystified, I can waste so much time. These ovations are strictly imagination, not standing. So much for planning, guess fate left without me. Those failure statistics, yeah, they'll be about me. Was overly optimistic, forgot the logistics. Guess we all learn sometime, don't we? Good is not good enough, no. How long do I stay down before I let go? I buried my pride, took it inside, but never enough. It takes a toll, it gets old getting told you've got miles of road left to go. You're alone with this future unknown. Just go home. Just go home, it's safe there. Yeah, I'll find some embrace there. Look, it's time to admit defeat. A humble retreat, check the box and complete to my core. Intrinsically, it's not for me, I can't do this. I knew this is how it would be. No fame, no fortune, no names on marquees, just running in place every day on repeat. This is the world I want to see, where everything's taken with no guarantees. No. Come on, man, pick your head up. Go back inside, half a life's learning to get up. How can I make you see that you have everything you need, and what you want to be is never out of reach? Fate deceives sometimes, but destiny's calling, so can't let the phone ring. You know there's no all-knowing. Go level up, no letdowns. Let the world in, push fear out. It's self-belief, it starts right now. When hell freezes, you lay down. Until then, it's your town, it's your story, it's your crown. Live in the clouds, feet on the ground. They stand still, you run around. Go mesmerize, where they socialize. There's dollar signs to be maximized. If you live it right, regret nothing. Loud applause, the sweetest sounding. This moment won't happen again, and never becomes forever unless you choose to begin. So see greatness in each step, and power in progress. Your future, yeah, that's limitless, it's infinite. Don't forget you want this.
Duduzan is fun. Duduzan is fun. Duduzan is fun. Duduzan is fun.
The champ is here! afternoon and welcome to Bull Market Talk Show. This is your host Rian Hobson, and we're doing actually a bit something different, as I actually picked up some very similarities between South Africa and the United States, especially now that Joe Biden will get inaugurated on the 20th of January. But what I did pick up is like in South Africa under Zuma, and that is actually why I was playing those clips for you about the former president. Literally, they made a mock out of him, of South Africa. Look, I'm not actually now coming in defense of President Zuma, but the economy did went into a decline under his reign, and massive corruption also with it. And look, it's not that everything changed now. It's actually just getting worse, actually. I mean, 500 billion it got missing in approximately 6 months. 500 billion, I mean, it actually just got worse, actually. So they are under investigation, not now with the 500 billion, but on the previous regime or the Zuma era. So there's a state capture that actually going on with widespread corruption that happened, that it looks like it can go deep into the billions of what happened under Zuma's watch, and with the Guptas and all of those things that went on. But the whole thing is that South Africa was so mesmerized to get Zuma out, because we were just tired of this corruption, and the country just couldn't go forward, and the country was in a decline, and there was non-stop protest that was going on. The propaganda machines against Zuma. Some of them were true, some of them were totally nonsense also, like the story with the shower thingy. That's why I have that photo up. He didn't say that the cure for HIV was actually by taking a shower. That was absolutely nonsense. But believe me, it was all over. They made a mock out of former President Jacob Zuma. And look, to be honest with you and fair with you, the ANC, the party that is in charge of South Africa, or the ruling party, they actually protected him through the whole thing. And funny enough, Cyril Ramaphosa was also in that seat as vice president, defending the former president for not getting fired, even with all the nonsense that he did. But the main issue of today is that America invested so much time in getting basically President Trump out of office. I will not say the whole entire America, because there's a lot of people who agreed with Donald Trump. Even the polls were showing with 75 million people that voted for Trump. But the thing is that America actually, or I would say the Democrats, look, I would say actually the whole entire media of the United States, or the big corporates actually, or the big media, social media as well, invested quite a lot of time by wanting actually to take President Trump up. Even it gets so bad in the United States that they actually have elections of a third world country, because that elections is definitely rigged. Look, nobody's so stupid and think that Joe Biden won the elections, but it's actually getting so bad in the United States that they can even rig the elections. That's how desperate they got to get rid of President Trump. Now, the big question is, because this is actually the same story of South Africa, the big question is, you can't just point straight taking President Trump out for 4 years. So what will you do after the 4 years? Because you just invested time by taking out Donald Trump. Did you ever hear about the policies of what the current president will enforce? Did you maybe think about that? Or did you just focus on getting President Trump up because he's just irritating you? Because look, the thing is that the policies, what I can pick up from Joe Biden and what I pick up from South Africa also, where we made the mistake, is that, look, from day one, I didn't like Ramaphosa. Look, even before he actually ran for president, I always said that this guy is a total sellout. He's not he will just not make it. But South Africans voted for him because there was words that was used actually of a new dawn, which is actually also being used in the United States, and that's why I actually put it in the description. A new dawn and four lost years that has been done in the United States with Joe Biden use, and in South Africa it was a 10 lost years under Jacob Zuma. And the story is very similar. I'm not saying President Trump was a terrible president as compared to Jacob Zuma. President Trump was actually a very good president, I must say. But the amount of time that the media and the people use to take out President Trump and literally to portray him as someone that is mentally ill, because that is exactly what they did in South Africa. And even, by the way, the main devil is actually in the United States that actually were making jokes of Jacob Zuma. Listen, his whole entire show, and that's exactly what he used in the United States. His whole entire show in South Africa, when he was still in South Africa, it went over Jacob Zuma. His comedies went over Jacob Zuma. He even confessed himself that he will not make money if Zuma actually leave office. And now the bastard is there in America doing exactly the same, pushing propaganda against actually President Trump. Moved so far left and actually endorsing actually the Democrats. Even got the far left member of the Democrat into his studio, Bernie Sanders in, and praised the guy. Look, that he's God. Look, Trevor Noah is definitely the devil in the United States. Well, he left us now with an idiot of a president who has absolutely no control of the country, absolutely no control. And the thing is, now you're sitting with the same devil, which is Trevor Noah, and he actually endorsed Joe Biden. And look what he gave to you guys. Look, I'm not saying the problem is just his problem, but believe me, he was actually creating a madhouse on his daily show by portraying Trump as insane, crazy, incapable of doing his job. The same applies here. He also made jokes of Zuma can't even use a computer. And it just went on and on and on. And the thing is now, it's not that South Africa actually solved the issue. We just went further off the radar with a terrible president. We actually endorse policies that is far from the Constitution. We actually want to amend the Constitution now, which is basically the same in the United States. Like, I can tell you now, they're gonna in the United States, they're gonna amend. They're basically busy doing it. Amend the first Amendment and then the Second Amendment. In South Africa, they also want to, or they actually did, amend the land story in South Africa, and also the story of the Reserve Bank. I mean, can you believe it? A government in charge, I don't care what government, a government in charge of land and a government in charge of the Reserve Bank, especially a government like South Africa who is extremely corrupt, that will lead to some serious problems. So you are actually left, this is now for America, you are actually left now with far left policies. This is exactly the same what happened in South Africa, or it's still happening in South Africa. The era after Donald Trump will be mayhem, that I can assure you. And with the devil there, which is Trevor Noah. He will now praise Joe Biden for whatever he did, even if he do nonsense. Exactly the same here in South Africa. He's praising Ramaphosa sitting there in America, nice and cozy. Praising Ramaphosa. He was even invited to our parliament as this hero. And he did absolutely fuck all by giving us shit. And he's doing exactly the same there. I don't know if this boy not thinking that he's bloody losing his mind. And he's just sugarcoating everything what President Ramaphosa is doing here. It's really insane what is going on. And believe me, he will do exactly the same when it comes to Joe Biden. He will definitely now create jokes from someone, maybe a Republican, or maybe he must go to China and make jokes of Xi Jinping. I'm sure he will get hanged the next minute. But the thing is, what will happen after Donald Trump? A lot of people in America, even the TV and everything, invested so much time in getting Donald Trump out. I don't think a lot of Americans know what is coming for them, because that is exactly the story with South Africa. We don't know what was coming. Fine enough, the virus or the pandemic, I would say, was something out of the ordinary. But to have such a weak president by just obeying every single nonsense, that is now crap. At least Donald Trump actually had a plan by saying, no, he's not going to close down the economy. Now, we can definitely expect Joe Biden will close down the economy, and that economy will just suffer more. And then you will have your amendments changed, because that is exactly what happened in South Africa. Because it's surprising to me that even Americans are not fighting back, or there is actually fighting back against. But what I would expect, I would expect more Americans go out and fight for their country. But you can see that country is totally divided. For me, it is very strange, because you would have think that there would be a unified America under Donald Trump for fighting for religious freedom or the First and Second Amendment. But that's not the case. It just shows you how divided is that country. And the thing is, the people on the other side from Donald Trump, do they know what they vote for? They voted for policies that is totally unrealistic. Because you see, the thing is, the main issue of today's show is just that you invested so much time by just taking out this president, and you don't know what is the consequences. That's all that you wanted, is to get rid of Donald Trump. And maybe you will say, yes, we did get rid of him. But did you check the policies of what this idiot will do? And believe me, those policies of Joe Biden is so far off the radar, it's impossible that economy will survive. And that's exactly what's happening in South Africa. We are basically suffering in South Africa. Unemployment rates are skyrocket high. Inequality is the worst in the world. We are actually the most unequal society in the world, with unemployment sitting at definitely over 40, maybe close to 50% of unemployed people. Youth unemployment sitting at about 52%. That is now calculated. But if you look at the expand version, then we definitely sit with 60 or 70% unemployment. Did you realize about the policies what is actually going on? Or did you just vote to get Trump out? I personally, that's why I created the show, I think it was last week, of the point of no return. Because I think a lot of Americans who did not vote for Trump, or who voted for Biden, was just engineered to actually get rid of Donald Trump. And did not know, or don't know, what is the policies that Joe Biden will do. Because normally, if you want to charm people, you will have some serious rubbish policies, which Joe Biden has. High taxes, free health care, which is impossible. High taxes, that will also not work, because people will just send their money out of America. Green Deal, I mean, you can't force people to adapt or die to that policy. Just think that everybody will just bow down and do it. That is not how the human work. We can't even bow down to lockdown regulations. What the hell about the economic policy? People will not bow down just because you say it's right, whether there's a virus or not. People will fight back. That's exactly what's going to happen with that Green Deal. You can't shut down Oklahoma. You can't shut down Texas. That is oil industry stat. Massive jobs there. So you're just going to close down those taps and put some windmills up. Are you crazy? And that is what people don't realize. That economy will not survive an era of Joe Biden. And what is currently happening, and I can tell you now what's going to happen in the United States, for what we know now in South Africa, is that his policies are going to go just further, far left, far less. We also brought the introduction of minimum wage under this EDM. It's a plan that just doesn't work. Your affirmative action laws will just become stronger in America because that's exactly what happens here. And it doesn't work. You will spend more money. Your debt will definitely increase far quicker. Your government deficit will just increase more. You will print more money in that country, which will not help at all. You will get promises after promises and after promises, and it will just not work because all that promises doesn't make sense in the first instance. You invested too much time by following what the media is saying. And also one of them, as I said, the devil, which is Trevor Noah. This guy is extremely dangerous. Extremely. I've been saying that for a very long time. He's been extremely, extremely dangerous. And then, obviously, he's protecting also the image of the devil that he put on that seat. But obviously, America is a free country. I'm not saying you have to kick him out. Because also, you need people like him to engage in conversation. But to silence the conservatives and to allow someone like this to keep on talking nonsense, that is now a bit unfair. But I know definitely a lot of Americans that did vote for Joe Biden or hope for his policies will work didn't look at the realistic side of its policies. They only look by getting Donald Trump out. That's it. Look, in South Africa was the same, as I said. And what happened in South Africa is when they voted Zuma out, everybody, or I would say most of the people, were happy. And then the other politicians of the opposition, which is now the economic freedom fighters in South Africa and also the Democratic Alliance, they literally went into turmoil because there was nothing else they could fight against. The leader of the Democratic Alliance, Mmusi Maimane, was actually fired because there was nothing else. All his time he just invested in getting rid of Jacob Zuma. EFF leader, at least he's still surviving. But the party itself is fighting internally with each other because there's nothing else they could fight with. There's no Zuma anymore. A lot of people split away from the EFF because there was nothing else to fight with. And that's exactly what's going to happen with the Democrats. That's exactly what's going to happen with America. It's a very dangerous game that will be coming for you. And I hope you guys are prepared for it. One thing for sure, don't give up your guns, because hell is definitely going to break out in the United States. It's not going to be an easy path. I can assure you that. And I hope you get rid of Joe Biden as quickly as they got rid, or even as quickly as they get rid of Donald Trump. It's going to be a tough period because the similarities is very striking. Because people invested so much time in getting rid of someone that they don't pay attention to the future. All the best with America. And I hope and I wish, but obviously it will happen. The things that happens in South Africa will definitely happen in the United States because the similarities is exactly the same. And with the devil there, Trevor Noah, it will happen. That's it from my side. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. I will definitely bring some more information for you at the same time tomorrow at 1 o'clock South African time. Bye-bye.
Duduzani is fun. Duduzani is fun. Duduzani is fun. Duduzani is fun.